So question 5 wants us to think about children for this next question. And would it be a good idea if we were selling educational software or computer games to young children? Would it be a good idea to market in this magazine called Young Professionals? Well, what we need to do is take a look at this column, have children, to find out more. Does it make sense? Do they have enough children? What's the percentage of the people in this sample that do have children? So let's take a look. So just at a quick glance, those that have children, 219. Okay, so we know we have 410 in the sample, and we have 219 total. So if I divide those two, I see that, well, it's not as, there's not as many people that have children as there were that had investments, right? Because that was 99%. So if I was a person that was going to do marketing for anything to do with children, I need to make a hard decision. Does this magazine fit my demographic profile? 53%, not so much, unless we can get very, very specific with our marketing campaign. So just as a general rule, 53%, not so great. So let's take a look at our males versus females. So how many males, how many females have children? Let's go back to our sample here. And let's clear our filter just to make sure. We want to see yeses. And we can look at this with females. So we have 110 females, and we have 109 males. Okay, so 109 males, 110 females, pretty close. Again, our sample size doesn't change, so it's just a matter of how many of that specific demographic. So 27%, we can even, this is one where I would take it up a notch, give one more point past the decimal to see that differentiation. Okay, well, that's interesting. So maybe we want to be more specific with age brackets. Now I went ahead and put together a bin limit for the ages. So we know, let's go back to our data set, clear our filter. We know that the ages start at 19 and they go to 42. So this is just a copy paste. All I did here was take this, copy and paste it right here. And paste. Okay. And then I had to get creative and come up with what my limits were going to be. Now, since our youngest was 19, I thought, well, let's just start with 20 and go 20, 30, 40, 50, because our oldest was, what was it? 42. Okay. So go ahead and you can create these bin limits. If you wanted to do it by 5s instead of 10s, you could do that. Save this column for last. And then we want to put together a formula. So let me show you how to do this. Like I said, we put our bin limits. In fact, with this one, I'll just go ahead and put 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And once you have a pattern, by the way, you can drag it and it will continue that pattern for you. So you wouldn't have to necessarily retype it. Now we want our bin label. Again, we'll leave that as is for now. And then we want our bin counts. So for the bin counts, what we want to do is we actually want it to highlight everything plus one extra row. So you're going to highlight everything that you need plus one extra row. And then we're going to put in this formula. So the formula is, and I'm going to copy it, but just so I can put it over here. This is one of those I don't particularly recall very well. Okay, don't put that little symbol at the front. All that does is it keeps Excel from actually doing the formula, but it leaves your formula in text. And that's the same as your apostrophe. So put the apostrophe, then you can put your formula, then you can see it instead of it actually acting, because I want to type it so you can see what it is. All right, so again, highlight all these cells and go one past your bin limit. And then we want to come up here to this blank space. We'll put equals frequency, parentheses, oops. And we want to put our data set. So we're going to start with A2 and go down. That's where we're going to gather the data. Then you want a comma. And your bin limits, right here is where I put the new bin limits. So I'm going to highlight those. Okay. And then end parentheses and enter. Then it will automatically fill this in for you. Now what this is saying is that this is oops, equal to, or actually, yep, this should be like that. There we go. Equal to or less than 20. Then we want to put in our 21 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, 41 to, let's see here, 45, and 46 to 50. And this one we can say that it is greater than 51. Here we go. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Yep. So that's it. Okay. So what this does for us is it helps us, whichever way you want to break it down. If you want it by tens or you want it by fives, it helps us to break this down. Now what I want to do, I'm actually going to copy this and put it on a separate page so I can go back to my data set and then filter everything according to these bins. So we can see the biggest bins are these in the middle, the 30s and 35s. Now this isn't restricted to those that have children, but just age in general in our data set, the most people are between these ages of 26 and 35. Over here, I've got it listed as between the ages of 21 and 40. So these are the, whichever one you choose, this is the information that we want to start with. Okay, so let's come back over here to our data set. And again, we know, let's make sure our filter is off. We want to look at those that do have children because that's part of our demographic for this new magazine advertisement. And let's go ahead and look at those that fall in line with, let's say 26 to 35. So number of filters, we can do between. If we do between, we actually want to do, yep, 26 to 35. Oh, that's not right. Is greater than or equal to 26, is less than or equal to 35. Do it like that and hit OK. All right, so that's 167 of our 410 people. So let's do that. 167 of our 410 people. And this is between the ages of 26 to 35. Now, it's a little bit more specific. So if I was putting marketing dollars into this, I would hit that age group because you have more people, you can get more bang for your buck. Yes, this one is a larger percentage, but you're dispersing those dollars out in sort of this lukewarm area. If we go back to the age brackets, we're looking at 26 to 35. We have more people there. So if I can spend more marketing dollars for this group of people, then it might be worth the investment. If I do it just for the rest of this, for everybody, then, well, we're taking a chance that people less than or equal to the age of 20, there's only 3 people there. So their marketing campaigns may look a little bit different than a person that's in their 30s. All right. So anyway, again, that's kind of one of those judgment calls. It would depend if you have a good sized marketing budget and you have some money to play with. But there's probably, in my opinion, there's probably a better magazine outlet that you could go to, unless their marketing is just not that expensive. So it's one of those, well, maybe, maybe not. Okay. Now the other piece to this question, let me get back to it. Yep, so for young children. The other piece to this question is we could be more specific. If we want it to be more specific, we just looked at age and if they have children, we've looked at gender and if they have children, maybe we want to look at specifically their household income. So of those that have children, their household income is anywhere from $24,300 to $205,900. So perhaps we want to look at people that make greater than $99,999. See how many there. So there's 38 people in this demographic that have children and make $100,000 or more. Again, judgment calls as to how much money you have available for marketing and if you think this is a reasonable marketing campaign. Now, a lot of what we did, although we used filters, a lot of what we did could have been done with the pivot table. So if we were to clear this out and you looked at, for example, have children, and then we looked at gender, there you can see yes and no, just as far as who had children, but you can see now it broken down by males and females, which is basically what we did. We saw 110 females, 109 males. So that takes care of this group right here. Just want to show you that there's always more than one way to do this. The other option that we had was 219 total, which we have that right here as far as the yeses and nos. Yeses, 219. So that takes care of this one. And then the age brackets right here. You can get more advanced with your Excel functions and do this with an easier way. But the age brackets are a pretty easy thing to do if you do your bin limits properly. So that one I would still do with the filter at this point in the game. All right, well, that takes care of question number 5.